Hello friend, welcome back to Toyota Maintenance YouTube channel. And welcome back to my shop. Today we are looking together on 2001 Toyota Tacoma SR5 Prerunner. This is a V6 engine and two-wheel drive model. This is my previous customer. He spent a bunch of money in the past on all kinds of repairs, and this time he dropped it off in the morning. He said, "Hey, do you mind there's something rattling, squeaking or scraping underneath the truck? Do you mind just look at it and really quickly tidy it for me?" So it sounded like he is eligible for the freebie. So I started obviously with a test drive, right? And I heard somewhere from underneath the truck some squealing and maybe scraping. It was not very loud. Even here in the alley where the sound bounces off the building, I couldn't tell where it's coming from, and I couldn't even film it. You will probably not hear it. There's something happening underneath there, so let's go and see if we can find it for him. So it's all kinds of possibilities. There could be loose shields, there could be something got hit, some screw somewhere will be, loose. I heard it over the bumps, but I'm not even sure if it was only from the movement of the vehicle or if it was from the bumps. You always check this shields, because many times there is missing a bolt because they were stripped, rusted, and after that stripped. So you're looking on the wheels and listening to the wheels and trying to find what could be causing that. What's about this one? Oh, did you hear that? Oh yeah. What is that sound? Now I don't hear it. You see, it just keeps coming on and off. Okay, let's take the wheel off and see what is possibly happening right here. Anytime we see these aftermarket upgrades in our shop, it's a nightmare, because the Toyota's 21. Do you think you can use your regular impact socket? No, you have to find a thin one and hope it will fit there. Yeah, it barely fits there. What is this? It's even different number. Yeah, let's see. So yeah, these things are a pain. Look at it. It's like what is it, 20? Or is it all the way down to the 19? Yep, you will see this. Also center cap, it's pain. You will see, let me show you. So unfortunately, I just have to use normal socket. Here we go. And let's see what kind of surprise we will find when we remove this wheel. Did I say these are a pain too? And I have installed a light there for you, so you will see immediately what happened here. What do you say? What is a problem here? I will show you details, maybe change the light. Do you see that part in the middle, which Toyota calls anti-rattle spring? Well, I will put the light down again or use the magnet on it and look at this, what is happening. It popped here on the bottom, being behind this pin. That's where it was originally, this way. See on the top, it's nicely engaged. And that was supposed to be there this way. So the bottom part failed and popped from underneath. So I actually can completely remove this part, and this is the failed area. I wonder, if I look in the detail, if it rusted off, if little part of it broke off, and therefore it was disengaged. Let's go and look on the other side if we can see it without removing that wheel. You see that? The same spring, it's installed the same way, and right here on the bottom, that's when it goes underneath that pin, and it's engaged there, and there's not a large chunk of that spring. Normally, if something is missing on that bottom, it's missing only very little part. So I will need to call dealer, see if they have it in the stock, or just bend it slightly in my vise and make sure it will stay in its place. What about the rim? And look at that. That rim, actually, that was the sound he was hearing. It was rubbing here. It looks by eye really bad, but it's actually just scraping the surface. There is not a hole or dent, right, missing material in the rim. So it's just like a polished area. I don't feel any protrusion in the rim. So this is good. We just see where it was rubbing and making sometimes that rubbing sound. Everything else, again, if you see the wire which holds the pins, everything else seems to be perfectly in the place. I don't see any problems. So let me go and call the dealer if they have it in the stock. Here you can see this anti-rattle spring on the flat surface. What I remember out of my head, I don't think it's missing any part. I just think it's slightly bent. As you expected, this is not a very common part which breaks, fails, or is being replaced. So dealer doesn't have it. It's a $16 approximately, and I will then try to bend it back, and we will see if we can install it back and replace it, maybe when the customer will need a next oil change or something. What do you say? Can I improve that ending right here so it will be engaged behind that pin nicely and not pop off again? I already tried to put it in the vise, but this is all too small, so there's nowhere I can grab. I cannot grab this end, I cannot grab this, so I will need to use the pliers. But what's about this monster? That's for working with the sheet metal. Maybe, just maybe, that will help me. And maybe all I need to do is basically just push on it, feel it if it's bending. Oh yeah, look at it. This is way better at this moment. The the parts guy, he ordered it. Of course, it will be overnight and it will be here tomorrow for that approximately $16. But we were joking, like, if I fix it too good, then the customer will never ask for its replacement. But yeah, I will try my best, of course. I'm just joking. The ideal will be if this little bend will be successful, and he doesn't need that part at all, because as we said, I don't think something rusted off. No, that was just in beginning trying to look at it. The part is complete, it just slightly bent at the end. So let's go and look if we can put it back. So I tried it there. The bottom part, which I bent, was grabbing nicely, but actually this distance was too far, so I also bent this part towards to there. So once again, here in the place, not only I bent this area, but I also did a bend here, so it's coming closer there. So when we got it today, the whole thing was barely sitting down here, almost touching the bottom, the part of the caliper. Today when I engage it on the top, if you look with me, look where the whole spring, it went backwards. So if I don't want to damage what I just did here, I rather pull the pin. I'm not trying to force it down there. That will be a mistake. I rather remove the pin. It's always interesting to try to work on something while having that camcorder here and fit myself there. So here is that securing wire for top and bottom pin. So you disengage that. Hope you will not break it, because these things rust too. I will carefully wiggle it out of the bottom pin, and this is what I was talking about. I will use my opportunity that it's out, and I will clean the pin, the surface, I will remove the rust buildup and so on, so it perfectly works there. This is when you love having good tools like this little Milwaukee, and look, hopefully you can see it. I will make the surface nice and smooth. This pin clean up really nicely. You should feel how smooth it is. So let's go put it back finally. So now I can finally bring my spring, which was bent. Now it will nicely fitting correctly in the place. I'm coming with that pin, and as you can see, I hope you can see the detail. It really nicely and firmly comes behind this pin. I have to help it, to guide it all the way through, which it's happening right now. This is all the way, and I tell you, I'm pulling on this spring really hard, and it's definitely not moving. So I will not forget about this securing wire. I need to rotate the pin. So now I will be getting in your way, because I need this opening in the correct place, which might be right here actually. So entering the wire on the top. Carefully, again, be careful with those, because there is rust on them. You don't want to break it. And trying to figure out the alternative way. So this is perfectly installed back, and guess what, even if I try to pull on this spring, anti-rattle spring, it definitely doesn't want to come off. Observing the details, pushing on it and observing the lip, how it hugs this pin, I'm fully confident that this will keep working correctly. But of course the part will show up tomorrow, and it's probably still better to put original for $16 later. I'm glad I had extra time to film the whole thing for you. It's another interesting thing. What could cause scraping, squeaking, scrubbing, correct? Who will ever think that that was the part causing these odd noises? So I hope you enjoy that, and be subscribed. I have way more coming your way soon. See you later, my friend.